A nuclear missile streaks through the sky, launched thousands of miles away, hurtling toward the United States at 15,000 miles per hour. Its warheads carry the power to destroy entire cities, and it's designed to outsmart every defense in its path. In a world where weapons like Russia's Satan II can strike with unimaginable speed and precision, how does the US prepare to intercept such a threat? The threat. What are Russia's ICBMs capable of? Think of a missile so powerful that it could carry enough nuclear firepower to destroy an entire city, or worse, multiple cities in a single strike. That's exactly what Russia's RS-28 Sarmat, ominously nicknamed Satan II, brings to the table. It's not just any intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM. It's one of the most advanced and terrifying weapons in existence. This missile is not your average piece of military hardware. It's a behemoth of destruction, capable of carrying multiple nuclear warheads, anywhere from 10 to 16 at a time. These aren't just small warheads either. Each one is designed to deliver catastrophic damage. In fact, the total destructive power of Satan II's payload is equivalent to 8 megatons of TNT. To put that into perspective, that's roughly 400 times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima in 1945. Just one of these warheads could level a major city, but with its capacity to carry so many, the scale of destruction is almost unimaginable. But there's more. The RS-28 Sarmat doesn't just pack a punch. It also has an incredible range and speed. This missile can hit targets anywhere in the United States. Yes, anywhere. From New York to Los Angeles, no city is out of its reach. And it gets there fast, traveling at speeds of over 15,000 miles per hour. It can cross continents in under 30 minutes. Imagine that. A missile launched thousands of miles away could devastate a city before you even have time to react. The sheer speed and reach of Satan II make it a formidable threat. Now, here's where it gets even more unsettling. The RS-28 Sarmat is designed to evade detection and interception like no missile before it. This is where its advanced technology comes into play. One of its standout features is its ability to deploy hypersonic glide vehicles, HGVs. These HGVs are unlike traditional missile warheads. Instead of following a predictable arc, they can maneuver mid-flight, changing their course to dodge missile defenses. Picture a missile that doesn't just come straight at you, but zigzags unpredictably, making it nearly impossible to track or intercept. That's what Satan II's HGVs can do. This makes it a nightmare for defense systems that rely on predicting a missile's path. What's even more chilling is that Satan II isn't just about brute force. It's also about outsmarting defenses. The missile is equipped with decoys and countermeasures designed to confuse radar and interception systems. These decoys mimic the appearance of real warheads, forcing defense systems to waste resources targeting them while the actual warheads remain undetected. In a large-scale attack, this tactic could easily overwhelm even the most sophisticated missile defense networks. So, why is Satan II considered such a terrifying weapon? The answer lies in its design and purpose. This missile isn't just about delivering destruction. It's about ensuring that destruction cannot be stopped. It was specifically developed to overcome any existing missile defense systems, including those used by the United States. Even the most advanced systems, like the U.S. Ground-Based Mid-Course Defense, GMD, struggle to counter a weapon as sophisticated as this. The combination of HGVs, decoys, and overwhelming firepower makes Satan II a weapon that could potentially render existing defense strategies obsolete. The implications of this are staggering. Think about it. The United States has spent billions of dollars developing missile defense systems. But here's a weapon that is essentially designed to make those systems irrelevant. It's like a game of chess, where your opponent has already anticipated all your moves and has countered them before you even play. And it's not just the US that has to worry. The RS-28 Sarmat is a global threat. Its range of over 11,000 miles means it can hit targets across Europe, Asia, and beyond. This makes it a key tool in Russia's strategic arsenal, capable of projecting power and influence far beyond its borders. The very existence of this missile raises the stakes in international diplomacy and military planning. It's a weapon that forces nations to think twice before engaging in any kind of conflict with Russia. In a way, Satan II represents the ultimate expression of modern warfare. It's not just about having the biggest bomb or the fastest missile. It's about having a weapon that can outthink and outmaneuver your enemy at every turn. For the US and its allies, the challenge is clear. How do you defend against a missile that seems almost unstoppable? This question is at the heart of the ongoing race to develop better missile defense systems. But for now, Satan II remains one of the most potent threats in the world. The USA's missile defense systems, layers of protection. When it comes to protecting a nation as vast as the United States from something as catastrophic as a nuclear missile attack, a single defense system isn't enough. The US has developed a layered missile defense strategy to counter threats at various stages of an attack. Each layer plays a unique role, working together to intercept missiles as early and as effectively as possible. One of the most critical pieces of America's missile defense puzzle is the Ground-Based Midcourse Defense System, or GMD. This system is like the backbone of the U.S. missile defense strategy. Its job is to intercept long-range intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, while they're still in space, during the mid-course phase of their flight. Think of it like this. When a missile is launched, it travels high into the atmosphere and then coasts through space before re-entering Earth's atmosphere and heading for its target. GMD aims to destroy the missile during this coasting phase, giving it the maximum window of opportunity to act. Here's how it works. Sophisticated satellites equipped with infrared sensors first detect the launch of an enemy missile. These satellites track the missile's heat signature and pass the information to ground-based radar systems. The radar then calculates the missile's trajectory, speed, and target, and relays this data to the GMD command center. Once a threat is confirmed, an interceptor is launched from silos in Alaska or California. These interceptors aren't armed with explosives. Instead, they rely on kinetic energy. Essentially, they collide with the incoming missile at incredibly high speeds, destroying it through sheer impact. It sounds impressive, right? But GMD has its limitations. In testing, its success rate has been just 58%, and those tests are conducted under controlled conditions. In a real-world scenario, where the enemy might use decoys or multiple warheads, the system's effectiveness could drop even further. To make matters worse, the U.S. currently has only 44 interceptors in operation, which means the system can handle just 11 missiles at once, assuming 4 interceptors are needed per missile to ensure a successful hit. For a country facing potential threats from nations like Russia or North Korea, this is a sobering limitation. The good news is that upgrades are underway, including plans to deploy 20 new interceptors by 2030 and introduce advanced radar systems like the Long-Range Discrimination Radar, LRDR, to improve tracking and accuracy. While GMD focuses on long-range threats, the Aegis Ballistic Missile Defense System takes on a different role. Aegis is designed to intercept short to medium-range missiles, especially during their terminal phase, when the missile re-enters the atmosphere and is hurtling toward its target. This phase is particularly critical because it's the last chance to stop the missile before it hits. Aegis operates from both land and sea, giving it a lot of flexibility. The system's centerpiece is the SPY-1 radar, an incredibly powerful sensor that can track missiles from hundreds of miles away. Once a threat is detected, Aegis launches an SM-3 interceptor missile. These interceptors use what's called hit-to-kill technology, meaning they destroy targets by directly colliding with them at speeds of over 15,000 miles per hour. It's like trying to hit a bullet with another bullet. No easy feat, but Aegis has proven effective in numerous tests. In recent years, Aegis has been upgraded to help counter ICBMs, extending its capabilities beyond short and medium-range threats. While it's still not as specialized as GMD for long-range missiles, having this added layer of protection makes the system even more versatile. Finally, there's the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense System, or THAAD, which serves as the last line of defense. THAAD is specifically designed to intercept missiles in their final moments, when they're about to hit their target. It's a high-stakes role, and THAAD delivers with incredible speed and precision. THAAD interceptors are unique because they don't carry any explosives. Instead, They rely entirely on kinetic energy to destroy incoming missiles. When a THAAD interceptor hits its target, the impact is so forceful that it obliterates the missile and any warheads it's carrying. This hit-to-kill approach is incredibly effective against short and medium-range threats, and it ensures that even nuclear warheads are neutralized before they can cause any damage. However, THAAD does have its limitations. It's designed to protect localized areas, such as military bases or cities, rather than the entire country. This makes it highly effective against regional threats, like those from North Korea, but less suited for defending against a large-scale attack involving multiple ICBMs from a superpower like Russia or China. In addition, THAAD systems can be overwhelmed if too many missiles are launched at once, a scenario that adversaries might exploit. Despite these challenges, THAAD remains a vital part of the U.S. missile defense strategy. Its ability to intercept missiles at high altitudes and speeds provides a crucial safety net, especially when paired with systems like GMD and Aegis. Together, these three systems, GMD, Aegis, and THAAD, form a layered defense strategy that covers different stages of a missile's flight. While no system is perfect, having multiple layers increases the chances of stopping an attack. And with ongoing upgrades and advancements, the U.S. is constantly working to stay one step ahead of potential threats. The challenge of hypersonic missiles. These aren't your typical missiles that follow predictable paths and give defense systems a chance to shoot them down. Hypersonic missiles are the ultimate speed demons, traveling at jaw-dropping speeds of over Mach 5 times the speed of sound. To put that into perspective, that's more than 3,800 miles per hour. At such speeds, these missiles can cross vast distances in minutes, leaving very little time for detection, tracking, or interception. But speed isn't their only trick. They've got something even more dangerous up their sleeves: unpredictability. Unlike traditional missiles, which follow a set ballistic trajectory, like throwing a ball in an arc, hypersonic missiles can change direction mid-flight. Imagine trying to hit a moving target that not only travels faster than anything you've ever seen, but also zigzags unpredictably. This maneuverability makes hypersonic missiles incredibly hard to track and almost impossible to intercept with current defense technologies. They've essentially rewritten the rulebook on missile defense. Now, let's dive into why hypersonic missiles like Russia's RS-28 Sarmat, or Satan II, are causing so much concern. Satan II is not just any missile. It's equipped with hypersonic glide vehicles, HGVs, which are designed to be the ultimate evasion masters. Once launched, the missile travels high into the atmosphere, where it releases these glide vehicles. Instead of following the traditional arc of a ballistic missile, the HGVs skim the edge of the atmosphere at hypersonic speeds, darting left and right, up and down. This unpredictable flight path makes them incredibly challenging for even the most advanced radar systems to track. The combination of speed and maneuverability is what makes Satan II and its HGVs such a game-changer. Most missile defense systems, like the U.S.'s Ground-Based Mid-Course Defense, GMD, and Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, THAAD, are designed to intercept missiles that follow predictable paths. They rely on sophisticated tracking systems to calculate where the missile will be at a given point in time. But with hypersonic missiles, those calculations become almost meaningless. By the time a defense system locks onto an HGV, it's already moved to a completely different location. Take GMD, for example. This system is designed to intercept missiles in the mid-course phase of their flight, which means it targets them while they're coasting through space. But hypersonic missiles don't stay in space for long. They glide through the upper atmosphere, which is a much trickier environment for interception. GMD also struggles with decoys and countermeasures, which are features that hypersonic missiles like Satan II exploit to confuse and overwhelm defense systems. THAAD, on the other hand, focuses on intercepting missiles in their terminal phase, right before they hit their target. While it's incredibly effective against traditional ballistic missiles, it faces significant challenges with hypersonic weapons. The high speed and unpredictable paths of HGVs make it nearly impossible for THAAD to respond quickly enough. By the time THAAD's radar system detects an incoming hypersonic missile, the window for interception might already be closed. But the challenge doesn't stop there. Hypersonic missiles don't just pose a threat because they're hard to intercept. They're also incredibly destructive. The RS-28 Sarmat can carry multiple nuclear warheads, and each HGV it deploys can deliver its payload to a separate target. This means a single missile could strike multiple cities or military bases, causing widespread devastation. Combine that with the ability to bypass defense systems, and you've got a weapon that's as terrifying as it is effective. So what's the solution? Honestly, it's not an easy question to answer. Defense systems worldwide are racing to catch up with this new threat. The US, for example, is investing heavily in advanced radar systems, like the Long-Range Discrimination Radar, LRDR, which is designed to better track hypersonic missiles. There's also research into directed energy weapons, think high-powered lasers, that could potentially shoot down hypersonic threats. But these technologies are still in the development phase, and hypersonic missiles are already operational. The other approach is deterrence. Countries like the US rely on the principle of mutually assured destruction, MAD, which essentially says, if you attack us, we'll retaliate with equal or greater force. This doctrine has been a cornerstone of nuclear strategy for decades, and it's still relevant today. The idea is that no nation would risk starting a nuclear war if it knows it will face devastating consequences in return. But as hypersonic weapons become more advanced, the balance of power could shift, making deterrence less reliable. Is the USA prepared for a large-scale attack? When it comes to the question of whether the United States is prepared for a large-scale nuclear attack, the answer isn't as straightforward as we'd hope. The US does have some of the most advanced missile defense systems in the world, but they come with significant limitations. If you've ever wondered just how ready America is to handle a scenario involving dozens of intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, or hypersonic glide vehicles, HGVs, the reality might surprise you. The U.S. missile defense systems, like the Ground-Based Mid-Course Defense, GMD, Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, THAAD, and Aegis Ballistic Missile Defense, are designed to intercept incoming threats. They've been developed over decades and represent billions of dollars of investment. But here's the catch. These systems are built to handle limited attacks, not the overwhelming scale of a full-on assault from a superpower like Russia or China. Imagine a scenario where an adversary launches dozens of ICBMs, each carrying multiple nuclear warheads or HGVs. Right now, the U.S. simply doesn't have the capacity to counter such an attack. The GMD, for instance, relies on a fleet of 44 interceptors based in Alaska and California. These interceptors are meant to destroy missiles in space, but they're not perfect. In fact, testing shows that their success rate is only about 58%. And because intercepting a single missile often requires multiple interceptors, the GMD can realistically handle no more than 11 incoming warheads at once. That's a sobering thought when you consider that a single Russian RS-28 Sarmat missile can carry 10 to 16 warheads. Then, there's the issue of cost. Each GMD interceptor comes with a hefty price tag of $70 million. THAAD systems, which are designed for short to medium-range threats, are even pricier. Deploying and maintaining these systems places a significant strain on the defense budget. And that's not even factoring in the cost of upgrades. Plans to add 20 new GMD interceptors and develop advanced radar systems like the Long-Range Discrimination Radar, LRDR, are expected to run into the billions. While these upgrades are necessary to keep up with evolving threats, they highlight just how expensive missile defense is and why it's not feasible to build a system capable of countering every possible attack. This brings us to the concept of mutually assured destruction, or MAD. If you've ever heard the phrase, "no one wins in a nuclear war," that's essentially what MAD is all about. The idea is simple, yet terrifying. If one country launches a nuclear attack, the other will retaliate with equal or greater force, ensuring the destruction of both nations. It's a grim but effective psychological barrier that has prevented nuclear superpowers from going to war for decades. The U.S. heavily relies on MAD as a deterrent strategy. The reasoning is that no rational leader would risk starting a nuclear war knowing that their own country would be annihilated in return. For this to work, the U.S. maintains a powerful nuclear arsenal capable of delivering a devastating second strike. This includes nuclear-armed submarines, bombers, and land-based missiles. Even if an enemy managed to destroy part of the U.S. arsenal in a surprise attack, enough would remain to ensure a massive retaliatory strike. But here's the thing. MAD is not a perfect solution. It assumes that all players are rational and willing to avoid mutually assured destruction. What if an adversary decides that the risks are worth it? Or what if a miscalculation or accident sets off a chain reaction? These are the scenarios that keep military planners awake at night. And while missile defense systems provide an additional layer of security, they're not foolproof. The rise of hypersonic missiles adds another layer of complexity. These weapons, like Russia's Satan II with its HGVs, are designed to bypass traditional missile defenses. Their speed and maneuverability make them nearly impossible to intercept with existing systems. This means that even if the U.S. invested in more interceptors, they might still be ineffective against the latest generation of weapons. So, is the U.S. prepared for a large-scale nuclear attack? The answer is not entirely. While current systems can handle limited threats, they would likely be overwhelmed in a full-scale assault. This is why deterrence remains a cornerstone of U.S. strategy. The hope is that the combination of a robust nuclear arsenal and missile defense systems will be enough to prevent an attack from ever happening. That being said, the U.S. is actively working to improve its defenses. New technologies, like space-based sensors and directed energy weapons, are being developed to counter hypersonic threats. Plans are also in place to expand the number of interceptors and improve their success rates. While these efforts won't make the U.S. invulnerable, they represent significant steps toward addressing the challenges posed by modern missile technology. The future of missile defense. What's next? When it comes to missile defense, staying ahead of the curve isn't just important. It's a matter of survival. The world's superpowers are constantly developing more advanced and dangerous weapons, and the United States has no choice but to innovate. The future of missile defense will be shaped by cutting-edge technology, enhanced radar systems, and a larger, more capable arsenal. One of the most exciting developments is the idea of space-based missile detection and interception systems. Imagine satellites equipped with advanced sensors that can detect a missile launch the moment it happens, no matter where it originates. These satellites would provide a real-time, 360-degree view of potential threats, giving the U.S. an unprecedented early warning capability. But detection is just the first step. The next goal is to develop space-based interceptors, essentially weapons stationed in orbit that could neutralize a missile while it's still climbing through the atmosphere. This would give the U.S. a chance to stop a threat at its most vulnerable stage, long before it becomes a danger. Another game-changing technology is directed energy weapons, better known as lasers. These aren't the sci-fi lasers you see in movies. They're highly focused beams of energy capable of destroying targets at incredible speeds. Lasers could play a key role in countering hypersonic missiles, which are currently one of the biggest challenges for missile defense. Hypersonic missiles move so fast and unpredictably that traditional interceptors struggle to keep up. But lasers, traveling at the speed of light, could neutralize these threats almost instantly. The U.S. is already investing heavily in research and development in this area, and while these weapons are still in the experimental stage, they represent a promising step forward. Enhanced radar systems are another critical part of the future of missile defense. Current radar systems do a decent job of tracking incoming missiles, but they can struggle to distinguish real warheads from decoys. This is where the Long-Range Discrimination Radar, LRDR, comes in. This next-generation radar system is designed to be much more precise, allowing it to identify real threats with greater accuracy. The LRDR will also have a much longer range, enabling it to track missiles earlier in their flight. This means more time to respond and a higher likelihood of a successful interception. Finally, the U.S. is planning to expand its arsenal of interceptors. The Ground-Based Mid-Course Defense, GMD system, for example, is set to receive 20 new interceptors by 2030. These interceptors will incorporate the latest technology, making them more reliable and effective. Increasing the number of interceptors will also help address one of the system's biggest limitations: its inability to handle multiple threats at once. With more interceptors and better success rates, the GMD will be better equipped to protect the U.S. from large-scale attacks. A balancing act: offense and defense. When it comes to national security, it's not enough to focus solely on defense. A strong offense is just as important, if not more so. The ability to strike back, or strike first, if necessary, serves as a powerful deterrent against potential adversaries. For the United States, this means maintaining a balance between defensive measures, like missile interceptors, and offensive capabilities, like advanced hypersonic weapons. Defense systems are essential for protecting the homeland, but they have their limits. No system, no matter how advanced, can guarantee a 100% success rate in intercepting missiles. This is especially true with the rise of hypersonic weapons, which are designed to evade traditional defenses. That's where a strong offensive capability comes into play. The ability to retaliate with overwhelming force sends a clear message to adversaries. Any attack on the U.S. will result in catastrophic consequences. This principle, known as deterrence, has been a cornerstone of U.S. strategy for decades. One area where the U.S. is making significant advancements is in its own hypersonic weapons program. Take the AGM-183A, Air-Launched Rapid Response Weapon, ARRW, for example. This hypersonic missile is designed to travel at speeds exceeding Mach 20 times the speed of sound. That's fast enough to hit targets almost anywhere in the world within minutes. The ARRW is highly maneuverable, making it nearly impossible to intercept. It's not just a weapon, it's a statement of technological superiority. Another key development is the Long-Range Hypersonic Weapon, LRHW, which is being developed for the U.S. Army. This ground-based missile system can strike targets over 1,700 miles away at hypersonic speeds. With its precision and range, the LRHW is designed to target enemy installations and critical infrastructure, giving the U.S. a significant edge in any conflict. But maintaining this offensive edge comes at a cost. Literally, hypersonic weapons are incredibly expensive to develop and produce. For example, the ARRW program is estimated to cost billions of dollars, with each missile carrying a price tag of over $10 million. These costs add up quickly, especially when you factor in research, testing, and maintenance. Critics argue that these programs are a drain on resources, but supporters counter that the stakes are too high to ignore. In a world where adversaries like Russia and China are rapidly advancing their own hypersonic capabilities, falling behind is not an option. The challenge for the U.S. is finding the right balance between offense and defense. Investing too heavily in one at the expense of the other could leave vulnerabilities. For example, focusing solely on missile defense might make sense in the short term, but it won't deter adversaries who know they can overwhelm those defenses with a large-scale attack. On the other hand, prioritizing offensive capabilities without improving defense systems could leave the homeland exposed to new and evolving threats. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.